Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. I made part one of my favourite player from each Premier League club the other day, and I did get some nice feedback on Twitter actually, so thanks Matt and thanks Charlie for that, it means a lot. Today I'm going to bring you part two, where I'll try and cover the remaining teams. So do subscribe for more football content and enjoy the video. Totally unrelated, but the team at Borussia Dortmund very kindly sent me this and their home jersey at the start of the season. How sick is this? Can you see? I don't know if you can see, yeah. So shout out to Dortmund for that. I've not worn them as much as I should have, so I thought today, why not? In the first video, I covered my favourite players in Newcastle United, Arsenal, Brighton, Burnley, Chelsea, Crystal Palace, Everton, Aston Villa. So now let's continue in alphabetical order. Let's start with Fulham. So I have two in mind actually, and the person I want to go for, it's only because I have a soft spot for them, but there is another player who's really caught my attention recently. So I'll explain. The first player I'm talking about is Alexander Mitrovic, and I have a sort of bittersweet feeling towards him. He was on Tyneside 5 years ago, I guess, and our fan base were really fond of him, and he loved us back. He actually joined the club as a supporter, and we got him on a 5-year contract. We were expecting very big things, and sadly it just didn't end well. We loaned him out to Fulham, and the goals were just flowing, and something just clicked with them, and so we sold him on. And then last season he was the Championship's highest goal scorer, 26 goals for Fulham. He's an emotional player for sure, and a physical one, and I guess when things don't really get going with a player of yours and then he goes on to prove his worth elsewhere, you just have this strange feeling of what if. Anyways, if we are talking about this season for Fulham, the guy who's been impressing me week in, week out is Andre Frank Zambo Anguissa. So he's definitely my favourite player. No disrespect to Fulham, but they could be part of a relegation battle. And every single time I watch Anguissa play, I'm just stunned with his talent, agility. You know, he's a strong guy, he's press resistant, a superb dribbler. I feel like he's destined to be in a top 6 club, and I'll be very surprised if he isn't targeted. I saw a list of players actually with the most successful dribbles in the Premier League at the minute, and Traore was first, Wolves Traore, and Anguissa was second with 44 successful dribbles. I'll be so surprised if he doesn't make a move for bigger things. He's got it all going for him. So yeah, he's my favourite Fulham player right now. Next up, Leeds United, and it has to be Patrick Bamford. He, along with Dominic Calvert-Lewin, have been the attacking mainstays in my fantasy team, because you just know with the way Bielsa sets up Leeds, all-out attack, regardless of opposition, Bamford will get involved in the action. And I know there's divided opinion on Bielsa. Some are saying he's naive, and I do agree that you obviously need to find a tactical balance of defence and attack depending on the opponent. But even though Leeds have the highest conceded goals in the league, I just don't see any risk of them getting relegated. They're willing to take chances, they're willing to fight back. They create great games of football to watch, and I find it so refreshing to see a newly promoted team play so fearlessly. And Bielsa has never compromised on his style at any of his former clubs, so I don't think he'll change it up anytime soon. He does seem like quite a character actually. Did you see the press con the other week prior to the West Ham game? The reporter asked him if he's going to keep West Ham guessing about the starting 11, and he just casually went on to name the entire lineup. It was so funny because the look on his interpreter's face was priceless. Like, oh my God, are we really doing this? Anyway, yeah, so Bamford is my favourite Leeds player for sure. He's scored 9 goals already this season. He's the 5th highest goal scorer in the league. I mean, he's levelling with Harry Kane and Bruno Fernandes. To be part of a newly promoted side and sort of announce your arrival like that, he's elite, and watching him play is incredibly fun. Right, let's move on to Leicester City, I guess. So I guess this is a predictable one. Jamie Vardy. I cannot believe he's almost 34 years old and he's still one of the best and actually one of the quickest strikers in the league. I really think he could be the biggest bargain in football history. Leicester actually brought him in 2012 for £1 million. And then in 2016, with his goal-scoring exploits that led Leicester to the title, I thought, wow, this player he's really hit his peak, and he was player of the season. His transfer value shot up like crazy. By January 2016, it had risen from 2 million to nearly 19 million. And I know at the end of the season, Arsenal made a move for him. I think they were offering £22 million. And honestly, I'm just glad that he stayed at Leicester, where he's gone on to establish legendary status. 223 appearances, 113 goals. He's in the top 5 best Premier League strikers. World class. I, for one, I'm pleasantly surprised to see 4 years down the line, he's still Leicester's talisman. And I remember watching that Sky Sports interview on his pre-match meal, and I couldn't believe what I was hearing. He said that he has a Red Bull as soon as he wakes up, coffee, omelette and cheese, and then more Red Bull. And apparently he's been doing it for years. It's just insane. I guess it's just not what you expect from a modern day professional athlete. You don't expect their diet to consist of that. But he showed in that interview that he's quite a simple lad, actually. He just loves his football. He's consistent, he's clinical, and he's showing no signs of slowing down. So he has to be my favourite Leicester player. There you go. Next club, defending champions Liverpool. And I want to say Mohamed Salah. I really do think what he's achieved with the Reds is just remarkable. He really is one of the best players in the world, actually, and it seems like he's just an all-round humble, happy, professional player. But I'm not going to lie, there is another player at Liverpool who just edges it for me personally, and that's Sadio Mane. So I'll explain. I think aside from his sheer passion and elite brilliance we see on the pitch, the stories I read on what he does in his spare time, they just blow me away. I feel like he unassumingly breaks the stereotype of a modern elite level player, from the way he contributes to huge charitable projects in his home country, Senegal, to like the little gestures we see, like giving the ball boy his shirt. And then recently, did you see he surprised a Liverpool fan who's a charity worker on a Zoom call? And he always talks about the importance of sharing what life has given him with his people. He just discreetly gets on with it and keeps his head down, and I think he truly is the epitome of a role model. I really hope that young football fans just idolise people like Mane. Aside from all of the bad press and the negative stories on other players, other players in the spotlight, I think we can all be inspired by the likes of him and any of the other players who truly want to use their status and their earnings to just make a difference. So yeah, Mane gets my vote. Okay, Manchester City next. I feel like this is another predictable one, Kevin De Bruyne. And I have to say, honourable mention to Sergio Aguero, obviously. He's one of the best strikers in the Premier League. Actually, you know what? He's one of the best in the world. But recently, he's obviously been plagued with injury problems. Maybe his contract ending in the summer, it will mean that his City days are over. We'll have to see. Raheem Sterling as well, he's undoubtedly prolific. But as for my absolute favourite player right now, it just has to be Kevin De Bruyne. What a year he had last season. The awards he came away with: PFA Player of the Year, Man City Player of the Season, and also the Premier League Player of the Season. I feel like he's continuing that form this season. 7 assists already. And he really is Mr. Consistent. He's actually the perfect midfielder if you think about it. He's everything you could ask for. And I feel like his genius creativity, it just sets the foundation for the team's success. And I think creativity is the beauty of football, really, isn't it? And I really think that's his forte. And I wouldn't say he's underrated per se, but I would say he deserves a lot more recognition. I just love watching him, and I also love owning him in FPL. So yeah, Kevin De Bruyne, my favourite Man City player. Let's move on to Sheffield United. Now, it's not looking too great for them, is it? They haven't won a single game this season, no clean sheets, and I'll eat my hat if they manage to turn things around before the end of the season. I'm not too hopeful. Anyways, regardless of that, there is a player who, in my opinion, has so much potential to just move on and flourish elsewhere. John Lundstrom, his work rate is superb. He has bags of pace and power. Last season for Sheffield United, he was such a key player in their first season back in the top flight. He made 8 direct goal contributions, and although his goals have dried up this year, I just think if he's getting calls from other clubs in January, he shouldn't hesitate to move on. I mean, his ability to get forward and support the strikers, it helped Sheffield United finish 9th place in the league standings last season, and I do think that his elite level experience, it will be valuable anywhere. I heard that actually Rangers are interested in him. So, you know, good on him if he goes. He's 26 years old, and I feel he just needs to be part of a dynamic squad to progress in his career. He's my favourite player there for sure. I still have 6 more clubs to cover. I think I'm going to do them tomorrow because I've rambled on too much as it is today. I hope you enjoyed part 2 of my favourite player from each Premier League club. Do comment below and let me know yours. Thanks so much for watching. Please like this video and subscribe for more, and I'll see you next time.